Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
They don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I say to hell
On
with it.
Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Good morning. It's so nice to have you join us on Core Digest this morning. My name is Omotayo Alo. And this segment, we're looking at something quite interesting and mind-sporing as we look at a book that actually relates to a whole lot of people, especially those who aspire to be leaders, and leaders actually caught across occupied government positions or being the local government chairman or councillor. Even at the home front, leaders are required. Even in offices, leaders are also very, very important. And that's why we are taking up a author who has written quite a number of books, and his best-selling book is Zero to Hero. Now, his name is Kafar Adeneko. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
It's nice having you on the program.
Thank you.
And recently, you also wrote a book called The Grand Caliph, Recounting His Story and Glory. And now, I just want you to know what inspired your latest write-up, The Grand Caliph.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Grand Caliph is a book written about the life and about principles and ideology of a religious figure, a religious icon who, despite his humble background, refused to sit on the backbench. He started his primary education later than his peers, and I think 2 years afterwards, he lost his dad. And he faced so many other life-threatening challenges afterwards. Despite all this, he ensured that he created a good future for himself. He charted paths through vast wilderness. He carved out a niche for himself in the spiritual place and space. So he's a man I've been with for a long time. I've seen him through going through so many challenges. He has faced a lot of obstacles in life that ordinarily, if any person faces this challenge, then probably he would dustbin of history today. But yet, this man went along to create a successful future for himself. So his courage, optimism, and perseverance challenges me and provokes putting my thoughts into writing to put this together for posterity.
And now, for you describing the Grand Caliph now, do you think species are still very much available on planet Earth, a species of going against every odd to ensure that one comes out with a success story? Do you think there are such kind of people like him in this time and age?
I think that's the bane of problem we have in this country now. Even if you look at the title of this book, it tells you that life is not a bed of roses. It tells you that you must pass through certain pains in life before you get gains. It tells you that you come across some obstacles that will make you think you need to stop right there. But it takes the inner will, the strength of mind, to think that this is not your destination. It's just a passing phase. So I think there might be some people like that in the country today, but the problem we are facing is that so many people get down when they come to a crossroad. They don't really have a direction to follow any longer. They felt, look at the president today, he has tried to become the president of this country for 4 consecutive times, but he didn't retreat. if President Buhari today had concluded that after having tried for 4 times that he couldn't win again, then he wouldn't have been where he is today. So I think we still have some people like that in the country.
All right. And now, I rightly saw in the book while I was browsing through that you said there are 7 lessons all leaders and would-be leaders must learn from him.
Yeah.
So if you're going to highlight the 7 lessons, what are the 7 things?
Yeah, I said there are 7 lessons people must learn from him, because I recounted his story from a time when he was no one to a time when he becomes a leader in life. So a lot of things have been going in through that phases. So I felt there are some in those 7 lessons. There are some of them that will be the probably person like or let me say those who are still struggling to get their bearing in life. And there are some of them that will need to be made used by leaders in life. For instance, one of the lessons you can learn from the Grand Caliph is the concept of optimism. When he had a good job, the Grand Caliph felt he would be better off working independently. And without seeking advice from anyone, he concluded his plans and he resigned from the work. A lot of people were like, why will you have to resign from a good paying work? He said he just needed to follow his mind. So that is courage and optimism. So it takes a courageous man, it takes you to have courage to become an optimist. So that is number 1. Then secondly, when the Grand Caliph found himself in a situation where he felt, when he moved down to Abeokuta, he met a lot of other religious leaders there, and he needed a situation to launch himself into the limelight. So one of those strategies he made use was he created a kind of name for himself. He created a kind of image for himself. The image is about generosity and perseverance. So anywhere you find yourself, when people know you for a particular thing, that this person has a good record, a good image of, assuming you are a cunning person or you are a very straightforward person, as long as people are aware that this is the kind of person you are, then it becomes a calling card on you. They tag you with such image. So wherever you get to, that image precedes your person. Your name precedes your person. So when you go to Abeokuta, people name him for his perseverance and generosity. So, and before you know it, his name spread like wildfire.
Wow.
So that's one of the lessons people should learn.
And if I got you clearly, I saw courage, optimism, generosity, perseverance. That's about 4 out of 7. Now, okay, let's take this 4 for example. I'm looking at the scores of leaders we have in Nigeria. Do you see them possessing some of those qualities, or even all, for you in your own observation of what you see happening in the country?
Well, it depends on the person and the person we are talking about, because if you look at the current dispensation, you have a lot of political leaders in our system now. So the general belief, the general opinion of people is that politics is a dirty game. That whoever is going into politics then must prepare his mind to fight with pig. So in the process, you get yourself dirty. So, but I think some of these lessons I've just mentioned might not be necessary to be used all the time, but you must find yourself in a situation where 1 or 2 will be necessary for you. Look at the president, for instance. When he was contesting for the presidential election, what everybody was like saying, oh no, he's a man of integrity, he's a man of honor. So that is the name he has built for himself over time. People knew that the integrity is with him, and he has the honor. So he was voted based on that name. And they knew he has that burning passion for anti-corruption. So, and the country is like, where are we heading to now? So the president was voted based on those names and images he has built for himself over time.
Okay, and now the Grand Caliph is a religious leader.
Yeah.
And of course, he didn't have to be a politician to affect lives or to influence people, impact people with his kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how much impact does the new generation of religious leaders, how much impact do they have on Nigerians, and also how much role have they played in shaping the lives of individuals in the country?
Well, I think they have a significant role to play, and most of them, not all of them, have been playing such roles for a long time now. You know, people will tell you that we are in a country where there are a lot of religious houses, mosques, churches, but you now ask the question, are we godliness? So people attend churches, they attend mosques, they listen to sermons from imams and from their bishops and pastors. But the question now is, there's a difference between going to church and being moving close to God. Because if you just attend churches or you attend mosques, there's a possibility that whatever you heard from your imam or from your pastor will have significant impacts in your life. It will shape your focus and your objective in life. So sometimes some of these people will want to imbibe the spirits of these lessons they heard from their pastors or from their imams. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean that I think we still have a long way to go, if I must say
Exactly.
the truth.
I was going to come to that, because you rightly said that we have many churches and mosques, and people still tag Nigeria as the most corrupt nation. And if we have all of these religious institutions, which is expected to shape the lives of individuals, why do you think we still have that stigma on us as a nation, that we are corrupt and we always attend to sin doing the very bad thing other than the very good stuffs?
Well, I think we must try to distinguish between the country being a corrupt nation from the roles of the religious leaders. Because, like people will tell you, not like in other countries, for instance, in Senegal, for instance, you have a lot of religious leaders in their leadership position. You have them like Sheikh Mamoun Iyas. He was a religious leader, and he has been a deputy Senate president in Senegal. Presently, their deputy speaker is a religious leader as well. So, but in Nigeria, I think we are coming up. So the political structure and system in the country has been so designed that it is very difficult for you to just dabble into that system without having a kind of support or backup from all these so-called politicians. And I felt not all religious leaders will want to put their image online. They will want to dent their image. So that is why most religious leaders are trying to be at the background. But it is for them to advise politicians, and it is up to these politicians to follow what they hear from them. So you cannot really put the blame on the religious leaders.
Okay. Now, the last election came with a lot of excitement and hope in the new Nigeria. And of course, that was one of the reasons why the All Progressives Congress won the election, because they rode on a change mantra.
Yeah.
Now, with the body language you see, and of course, about 5 months into the administration of the new government, how much hope do you have for a new Nigeria?
Well, I think I have hope that this country is getting better. You know, if it takes time for change to happen, the APC might have preached, they might have used change as their slogan during the election. As in, they came in through the change mantra, as you rightly said. But then we need to put a lot of things into consideration. The lifetime of a nation is quite different from the lifetime of a human being. So, what has been missing in the leadership of this country before now is the will. to do the right thing, the political will. I think I see in the present president now, he has that commitment, the passion for a new Nigeria, the will to move the country forward. But you must never forget that a tree will never make a forest. He cannot do everything all by himself. So he needs to put people, the right people around him. So all we need to do now is just to pray for the president, so that the people that will work with him will be the right peg in the right hole.
Oh, now, speaking of teammates, you saw the ministerial candidates put forward by the president. And of course, while some have been confirmed, others are still yet to be screened. Now, with the team put forward and what you see, do you think the president is really making the right decision?
You see, you need to consider a lot of things in the political environment. You know, when the president was doing his campaign throughout the country, he wasn't doing it all alone. He had people around him. They moved together day and night. And even the funding, like someone would tell you, President Buhari wasn't that rich. And let me say, he's not that rich. And, you know, to contest political elections in Nigeria today, you have to be stinkingly rich. So he got the support of some people to put him there. Even if we were yearning for change, we couldn't have gotten the change without the support of all these people around him. So we need to differentiate now between integrity and political reward. Yeah.
Political reward
because
at the expense of the people?
I felt, let me tell you something, it doesn't work the way we think it should be. You know, they are politicians. 2019 is around the corner. Soon, they will come around and start begging for our votes now. But, you know, there are some people that, let me say, these are the cornerstones of his campaign then. So, if he had just decided to say, okay, let me take all the technocrats and put them in my government, then they would just wait for another 4 years. And when it comes to them, they will tell him no. You know what? What I think... why people felt the list of the ministerial nominees not what the president promised the country is basically because these are names that are known to them. But you just need to go through the resume, the CVs of these people. Look at Dr. Fayemi, for instance. Look at Babatunde Raji Fashola, for instance. So look at Aminat. So these are people you can't just... discarded as inconsequential in the scheme of things. So actually, not all the names on the list are something I would say people are expecting, but there are some names on that list that truly tells you the president meant well for this country. So it's all about us now to give the president the necessary support to move this country ahead.
Okay, now briefly, I'd like to talk about the state of security in the country. Of course, the president has given out a 3-month deadline, and it's set to expire by December.
Okay.
And even with the directive, we've seen a spate of bombings in different areas. Now, do you see this deadline as coming to fruition by December?
Well, I think it's up to the president to give deadlines. Like I said earlier on, that shows he's committed to a new Nigeria. He wants the problem of insecurity, corruption, unemployment to be eradicated in this country. Did you see what he did when he got into office? He moved around Africa and he moved around the world, basically to seek support of other world leaders to come to Nigeria's aid and help us to fight this menace. Insurgency is not something you can fight in a few months. The president's statement is not cast in stone. So he said that out of his hope that very soon something good will happen in this country. And if you see, you discover that the activities of the insurgents are coming down gradually. So I know they will achieve something, but that achievement may never mean the insurgency will be over by December.
Okay. And for the book titled The Grand Caliph, Recounting His Story and Glory, if you were to say who the target audience for this book are really, who are you directing this book to?
Just two people, two sets of people, to all leaders and would-be leaders. Yeah.
So all leaders and would-be leaders.
Because as a leader, there are times in your life you experience some revolts, and not so many leaders have the wherewithal to handle such situations. So going through the book will afford you the opportunity of seeing how the Grand Caliph handled these situations and how he was able to be victorious at the end of the day. So
all leaders should actually grab a copy. All right. You have the launch on Sunday, really. And so I'd like for you, final words from you for those who want to have a copy of the book. What do they stand to gain if they get a copy? Yeah,
they stand to gain a lot. By going through this book, they will be able to see success where others see only failure. And by going through the book, they will plan, they will know that it is necessary to dig a well before you become thirsty. And they will know it is very important to plant a seed before you become hungry.
All right. Since you are addressing leaders now, what would be your advice to followers? Of course, Nigerians,
I said leaders and would-be leaders. Yeah.
But everybody can be leaders. The followers are required.
So the would-be leaders in another sense might be followers who aspire to become leaders in the future.
Leaders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your advice to the entire Nigeria as we round off?
My advice to them is just as a religious person, I believe it is necessary to obey constituted authority. We all clamor for a new Nigeria. We must play our own role as well. It is not the leaders in Luther only that will do it all. We have our own roles, they have theirs. So while we try to see them do their own things, then we should be prepared to play our own roles as well.
All right. Thank you very much. It was really nice having you on the program. Well, you aired it all. It's been wonderful speaking with Gafar Adenekon, the author of The Grand Caliph, Recounting His Story and Glory. And if there's anything to take on today, it's about that courage, optimism, generosity, perseverance and integrity are qualities that a leader cannot do without, because like he rightly said, that whatever it is you do, even as a follower, would actually speak for you whenever you want to aspire for any leadership position. So it's important to start early and have a no give up spirit, which is actually a quality that any leader should possess and hold on to tightly, because that is what is going to stand you out when the going gets tough. My name is Omotayo Alo. Thank you so very much for staying with us on the program. Till we'll come your way next time. Ensure that you imbibe the quality of a good leader, because everyone needs to lead at every given situation in life. Bye-bye.
You wish your mommy was pleased like mine, yeah, don't you?
That's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to stay fit and healthy, so she can take extra care of her family. 3 Crowns now comes in powder. 3 Crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.